episode of RatG TV with your hosts, Zeus and the Wellandwingnut. And they thought I was the crazy one.
Black magic. You got to know, got to show, it's time to roll. So just tell me what you want to hear. Tell me what you want, so just tell me what you want to hear.
Welcome back to an early edition of RatG TV. It's your boy Zeus with you here, and with me as he is every week, he's on the other side.
Yeah.
Mr. Wellandwingnut. Well, how did we get switched up here? We're never on this side.
That's weird.
I don't like it. I don't like it.
No,
there.
It's weird.
There. Now it's better. Right? All right. So, how's everybody? How you doing, buddy?
Good. Yourself?
Well, we're up early today,
Yes,
with reason though. We have a special guest with us today, but I wasn't going to be able to be here later on tonight because I've got wrestling engagement tonight. CWF, Josh Alexander fighting the champ Jesse Bieber, which is going to be great. But I couldn't just cancel the show. We couldn't cancel this show. We got one of the best in the business and a guy that's been near and dear to our heart. If you look behind Steve there, he's responsible for that little logo right there of the two of us. That's right. It's Horror Illustrated extraordinaire and one of the best out there, Steve McGinnis, horror artist. How you doing, Steve? Welcome to the show.
Hello, guys. How you doing?
Welcome back. Long time.
I know. It's been quite a while, eh?
I know. No, we usually do this at like a convention, so this is nice because I'm not sweating and having to bend over.
And for those watching now, we're going to share this again later, so it won't be live at 7:00 when we share it, but I will be watching along with you. So if you have questions or comments, I will chime in with you.
Sounds perfect. How you doing, Luke? Checking in. Luke, I think you're going to like this show, especially today, buddy. And Steve, tell us a little bit about your work as a horror illustrator and some of the work that's out there.
My work, I've basically been doing horror illustration now since, I would say, 2009. I was doing some with that first horror convention, the Macabre Con, and then it just kind of took off. And I've done artwork for multiple magazines. Right now I'm working on the Terrifier graphic novel adaptation. Worked in a little bit on Terrifier 2 film. It's just been, I created my own slasher, Rise of the Harvester, 3 books for that. So it's been nonstop.
Man, yeah, you've been extremely busy, and it's been great to be able to be, with you kind of for the ride, because we've known you for years now. Like I feel like we've watched your son grow,
Oh yeah. Yeah, you guys were there at the first show, and like Ben was like this big.
And he probably towers over all 3 of us now. So
man. He's like a beanpole now.
And we always, every time we talk about you, we always bill you as the horror artist, which you are known for. But you've also been doing like children's books too. Yeah,
I do. I haven't been lately, but I have like over 50 children's novels now.
Wow.
And yeah, it's a weird. It's kind of relaxing sometimes to go from like guts pouring out of someone, and then you jump over to a nice like puppy playing with a kitten.
Yeah, a lot of the pet portraits you've been doing lately too.
Right.
Yeah, I love that. I love drawing like dogs and birds, and I just find it really relaxing.
Yeah.
So is that some kind of like decompression for you though, like going from say the Harvester to the kids' books next?
I accidentally slit the dog's throat. Oh God.
Well, we've seen that. Haven't we seen that in one of the Harvester books?
Oh yeah, he kills everyone.
Yeah, he has.
He beat the old lady with her own cat to death. So
that's right.
Yeah,
amazing.
I was pretty. I did 7 books with this one author for children's books. So just for a joke, she found out I was a horror artist. So just for a joke, I took a bunch of her characters and like zombified them and made them look dead and everything in the pages. And she's like, "Are these seriously the pages for the book?"
We got a question for. Oh.
We see some dead livestock here.
Ooh, nice.
Oh yeah, there you go, right there.
That's from Harvester
1.
Harvester 1.
Nice.
I love it. I wish you would have given it to me earlier, and I could have put it up. Was the photo of you cosplaying and surprising Steve as the Harvester. Too bad we don't have that one there. We have a question though for you from England. Luke Tuff says, Steve, obviously McGinnis, what's your favorite project you worked on? Horror project, he means.
Yeah, Terrifier.
Terrifier. Yeah.
I did the re-release cover for the Terrifier movie, and then it kind of snowballed from there. I got to do the graphic novels, which is just a blast because Damien is great to work with. He just said, do your thing. Like, if I want to add some scenes, if I want to do this, I've got creative freedom. He's awesome to work with. And then I can't wait for everyone to see Terrifier 2. I've done some creation for that in there as well. Oh, there's that. Oh, man, I got to tell David about this.
So I learned something about you today, Steve. When we were doing our list earlier and you sent us your 5 moments or movies that scared you as a kid, and the story you told me that when you got this doll from Art the Clown himself, you want nothing to do with this thing, and I got some insight into your childlike mind today.
Did you watch it?
I did watch it. I now know your fear of dolls.
Yeah, now, because of this theme that we have here, because we have Steve on this show, and he is Steve McGinnis, horror artist extraordinaire. Because of that, we're like, hey, this would make a great topic for this week. Let's do the movies that scared us as children. And yeah, y'all have some issues. Actually, I'm not going to lie. I was surprised on some of your picks that you thought were scary because for a lot of them, I don't know.
I know me personally, in my defense, and I know you said you were like 6 maybe when you watched Trilogy of Terror. I was definitely far too young for a couple of these, and that scared the piss out of me.
Maybe Steve could incorporate Clanny into the next one. I do think we need to get Clanny into the next Harvester book for sure. Clanny is our mascot here. I don't know if you've ever seen Clanny, the clan shark. That is Clanny, Steve. He is
that thing.
Yeah.
It was a shark pup they found in Asia. It was a dead shark, and they pulled out 3 shark pups, and 2 were normal, and 1 looked like that.
Whoa.
Yeah.
And I aptly named him Clanny.
Man, why am I only learning of this now?
Can you see why I call him Clanny though? Like, I mean,
man, that thing is disturbing.
You take that mask off. It's Cleavon Little.
I gotta draw that thing.
Please do. Absolutely. Loretta says, "Oh, geez, horror movies, Jason movies, It, Candyman, the list goes on," and I kept watching them. Yeah, I mean, there's some tough ones to get through there. And so, well, how do we want to work this? Do you want to, Steve? Do you want to, Lambert? You want to go first, and then, or let our guest go first?
So we'll put the picture up for you, Steve, and then you can talk about the moment it changed your life.
Okay.
I won't joke. Creature from the Black Lagoon gave me nightmares, and of course, Jaws. I was as a child. I still am. Don't tell Blumhouse, as I'm a hard as nails now. We don't believe it. We're waiting for McGinnis to work for Blumhouse.
You're a big softy, Luke. We know.
All right, so we'll start off, and I'm going to start off with the first one that we got on the list here. Tell us why.
Oh, Jaws. Man. Okay, here's the deal with this. I was a kid of the 70s, so probably my mom worked at Sears. She was in the electronics department back then. I think it was like 79, and she brought home the granddaddy of the Beta. It was that laser disc player to try it out. So she brought it home, and what she had was Jaws and MASH the movie. And do you remember those laser discs? Like
Yes, they were huge.
they were in a carrying case. So there I was probably like 6 or 7, and popped in Jaws, and it traumatized, especially that end scene with Quint and everything. And I never went back in the water. That was it.
Wow.
Yeah, you're not alone on that one. I'm sure thousands of people share your trauma in that one.
Yeah, I hear that. I hear that from everyone as well. And I think I'm kind of with Steve. We were a little young when Jaws came out, so by the time we could watch it and understand what was going on, I think the special effects had passed it already. So when it came to the end with Quinn, we're like, oh, well, there's Bruce. That's just Bruce. That's rubber Bruce. Good old Bruce right there. There's Bruce. But now tell me about this one, Steve. This is what we got up next.
Oh God, that's
what movie is this?
That is the Trilogy of Terror. It was made in '75 for TV. You can believe that. And Carol Black.
Mother Firefly.
Yes, and this woman receives this gift from overseas, and it's that voodoo doll, and the necklace fell off, which made it come to life. And this little friggin' thing runs around trying to kill her and attack her. And I was at my grandmom's, and my aunt had it on. I remember I was there, and my aunt's not much older than me, so she's watching it. And I remember that voodoo doll came out of that bedroom, and it was like, it was like running at the screen. And oh my God, I think I lost about 10 years off my life.
Much younger George Gaines in that as well, from Police Academy fame, and Punky Brewster.
Oh my God.
Oh, Punker.
Oh, Punker.
Good eye. I don't like dolls or anything.
I won't joke. Creature from the Black Lagoon gave me nightmares, and of course Jaws. We saw that one. Sorry. Living on an island didn't help. My gran was like, go swimming and stop worrying. If you get eaten, we'll miss you. Loretta says, I think she means Jeepers Creepers, even though I was an adult at this point, still bothers me. The scene at the start where the guy drives up on them honking his horn, and the end scene. The end scene I will always remember, but that was another one, for some reason didn't scare me at all.
Yeah, I found it disturbing, especially when they were in his catacombs and all the people were like in the walls and such.
Wow. Maybe I'm not as afraid of his horror movies as I thought.
Yeah.
Well, so we go from that was Trilogy of Horror
or Terror
to another one that terrorized a lot of kids, and this was around me and the Wingnuts era growing up. And tell us about this one and the fear that it put into you, Steve.
Oh God, Poltergeist. Yeah, my buddies and I, when we were younger, would sneak into the theater, or I'd just sneak in alone, or I had a great uncle who would sneak me in. We'd buy a ticket to like the Fox and the Hound, and then like slip into Conan or whatever. But we went in to see Poltergeist and got in, and that scene with the clown when he was fighting the kid and everything, or the tree outside the window. Oh my God, I'm amazed I didn't have gray hair after leaving the theater after that one.
I bet.
There's that. No.
Damn it, Steve. Damn it.
You that thing running around your house at night, Steve?
Right. I know. I make Taylor shut her door.
You have the ML case for it, eh?
Oh, that was a good one for me. There were some scares in the original, but I actually loved that movie. And I watched that one multiple times, the original Pet Sematary. Even part 2, and I didn't like part 2 at all.
Part 2 was more of a dark comedy, I thought.
Yeah, they kind of went the Evil Dead route, it seemed.
Clancy Brown, though, he was awesome in it.
Lex Luthor.
Yeah.
The voice of Lex. That's always
He's awesome.
Yeah, man. So great. And then we've got another one here, and this was, I think, bringing us to your number 1, is it? No.
Number 2.
This is number 2 on your list. Steve, tell us about the fear this movie put in you.
Oh, Amityville. Man, just the thought of that, eh? I saw that once again, way too young, probably 79, 80. And that scene where they look out the window and they see the pet or the girl's like pet pig, and it kind of screams, or the music jumps and you see the glowing red eyes that come out the window. Oh man, I had nightmares for weeks after that movie. And especially the Get Out, like when the priest was in the house, and it was like, oh my god, yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, I've never seen Amityville Horror. I've never seen any of them.
Really, it's an interesting rabbit hole you can go down with those. So if you watch documentaries,
they are based on true stories. Like,
yeah,
right. Like, isn't Texas Chainsaw Massacre also loosely based on like what's his Ed Gein?
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, but definitely, if look up some documentary, especially the youngest boy put out a documentary on what happened to the DeFeo family in that house at the time, and he's messed up. Like,
I almost watched the remake with Ryan Reynolds, which I heard was actually really good.
It's not bad. It didn't really capture that mood as much. What do you think, Metal Mennonite?
Yeah, no, I definitely those horror movies for me of the 70s, like I said, for being born in 76, but not even going back to watch these movies from the 70s until I was probably like 83, 84 when I was 6, 7 years old. That whole feel they had in those 70s horror movies just really got to me.
I agree. I think it was the music or something. Like there was something that kept you uneasy through the whole time.
We got a comment here, new fan here for us at least. Yo, Steve, big love from Nigeria. Hopeless Pictures is described as a wicked animated comedy. That's a wow.
Cool. Thanks.
Nice.
Wow.
Thanks for the love, buddy. Thanks for the love. Now, speaking of love, your number one fear here. I don't know if that's appropriate to put love, but it's the number one. So must mean it's the one you love the most, that frightened you the most. Talk to us a bit about this.
Oh my God. Yeah, the Changeling. Damn. That once again, watched it way too young. That movie, especially like the sound of the kid pounding on the tub when he was being drowned, and then the wheelchair creaking at the stairs and everything. There was something about those paranormal movies that just send a chill up my spine. I still don't. They're the only ones that scare me, are the paranormal ones. Like, let me think, like the Conjuring series, all those. Like,
wow, yeah.
Oh man, yeah.
Now, how are you with like, say, like the doll movies, like Annabelle and stuff like that? Because those are kind of.
Yeah, they're based on the Ed and Lorraine Warren series, like where they were exorcising the demons and whatnot, and then keeping them in their house to protect everyone from it, essentially. Yeah, I'm okay with it. Still, the idea of something being possessed by something that you can't protect yourself from is kind of scary.
Yeah, no doubt. Steve, what about you with those?
Yeah, in later years, as you'll see with my list, there's definitely some paranormal stuff going on there, and definitely scared me as a kid. But as I got older, the paranormal genre didn't appeal to me as much.
Yeah. See, those I don't know why the ghost stuff just never got to me either.
Really?
I watched Annabelle.
I love the slashers.
Oh, yeah, those are the ones that scare me. You'll see on my list. But with the ghost movies and stuff like that, like Poltergeist, I watched one of the Annabelle movies. I thought it was going to be scary, and it really wasn't. And then I watched the one. Oh, it was by that Norwegian director. He directed Shazam as well. But he does Annabelle and all those other. I think it's The Nun he does as well.
Ooh, yeah.
So he does all those, and I watched another one of theirs, and it was honestly, I was bored to tears. Really? Like, seriously. And I only went because it was on a blind date. So if it hadn't been, I wouldn't have went.
It's a good strategy, though.
What's that?
It was a good strategy, though.
Yeah, right.
See, the thing with the slashers is.
Steve's. Yes. Go check out all Steve's work. Here, I'll show you some more of Steve's work as Steve continues to talk there.
See, I love the slasher genre, but here's my thinking. Like with paranormal, especially the Asian paranormal, you can't get away from it, like The Ring or The Grudge. But with slashers, at least you can try and run, or if you have a slow friend, you can feed him to the slasher.
Buy yourself some time.
That's why
The Asian horror film industry has definitely killed it, especially, I mean, we've seen so many American remakes of these Asian horror films because they just.
Yeah.
Like, look, even now on Netflix, the Korean.
They're killing it.
They're killing it. They're awesome. Train to Busan. What's that new one? We Are All Dead?
Yeah, We're All Dead, yes.
Yeah. And Squid Game, man, they are knocking it out of the park.
Yeah. Yeah, I stay away from that type of horror. Like you said, The Ring, shit like that. No, I'm like, I did watch The Ring, and that one, it was scary, but again, I thought it was going to be scared.
Yeah, like Ring, which was Ringu, I believe, and The Grudge, which was Ju-on, if I'm correct.
Ju-on.
Yeah, creepy as fuck.
Yeah, I've watched The Grudge too. That was Sarah Michelle Gellar.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Am I really not afraid of horror movies? Is that what it is? Am I only just afraid of slasher movies?
That's weird.
Maybe.
Right? It is kind of weird. I'm having this really strange epiphany. We're gonna find out here. But before
here.
Scream. You know what? I love all those Scream movies, and those are slasher movies. But those, I don't know. They seem like teen movies, teen slashers, if that makes sense.
But that opening was pretty dramatic, eh? Like
with Drew Barrymore,
stabbed and everything, man.
And she gets stuck in the
tree.
Yeah,
and her guts were hanging out. Like, oh my god.
Yeah. Wow. Let's move. I guess I don't know. Give actual horror a chance, Ryan. You'd love them. I don't know, because there's some stuff like, you know what I can't handle? Saw. And if it's anything like Saw, forget it. I don't want anything at all to do with it. Yeah, that was crazy. Who wasn't scared by the babysit after that for a while? Yeah. All right. We're going to move on now. Steve Lambert, Wellandwingnut, the Metal Mennonite.
Mennonite, Wellandwingnut.
Buddy, you can start us off with your list.
All right. So this first one, there was an alleyway between my house and the house next door where my parents still live, and I grew up. And across the alleyway from my parents' house, there was a huge hedge and then a big creepy tree at the end. And I watched Poltergeist at my friend's house next door, and creeped me right out. I was far too young to be watching it. And then as I'm leaving, I'm thinking, oh God, I have to walk around that stupid tree. Like forget it. I literally leaped off the porch, ran across their driveway, jumped into the hedge maze, and rolled over it. Or the hedge maze, the hedges. And yeah, tucked and rolled it into my house. There was no way I was going around that tree. That scared the hell out of me.
You thought you were going to get absorbed into the tree, eh? You thought you were going to be.
I thought it was going to snatch me as I ran by.
That's awesome.
Again, you know what? And here's what my theory always was with why Poltergeist never bothered me, because as they progressed on, they got cheesier and cheesier and less scary.
Yeah.
But that first one came out after we had seen or heard Eddie Murphy Raw or Delirious, where he made the joke about Poltergeist, how if it was black people, we would have just changed the channel. Well, sorry, we changed the channel, did our best. Sorry, baby. We got to leave.
I mean, I'm a man and stuff.
Yeah, I'm a man and stuff, but did you try to save your kid? I changed the channel. I know I'm butchering that joke, but
it didn't work. This next one made walking home alone terrifying. I thought at every corner and every turn, what's going to be there? And I was hoping it wasn't going to be this guy, because he scared the crap out of me.
Oh, Myers.
Boom, boom.
Yeah, Myers, to me, I love Jason. Jason's probably my favorite overall. But when I was a kid, and to me, Michael Myers was just so pure. He didn't come back to life unexplainably. He wasn't in your dreams. He wasn't this. He was just a maniac. And to me, that was so real.
Yeah.
He kind of reminds me of like a force of nature. Like, you can't stop him. And
they just killed it with the newer ones, with the brutality. They've really captured it.
Oh, for sure.
And he's not supernatural at all. He's not, because I haven't watched these movies either.
So they've hinted towards him being this almighty evil power or something in him, but it's never really been fully explained.
Yeah. It's hard to tell what he is. Like,
Yeah.
is he like a force of nature?
As Dr. Loomis would say, pure evil.
Yes.
Or pure adrenaline.
Yeah.
You know, like people who just get that adrenaline rush. Maybe he's at 24/7. I think the coolest thing about Michael Myers is the fact that it's William Shatner.
Yeah.
This next one is the reason I ask for rooms close to my elevator, because I hate walking down hotel hallways with creepy fucking carpets.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
What's the matter, Steve? Don't you want to
I
play?
do not. I don't want to play.
Don't you want to play? Another one. We went to this exhibit. We went to the Kubrick exhibit.
Oh, really?
Another one. I watched that not even as a kid. I'd say like 13, maybe 14, which is still a kid, but I mean, wasn't a kid like Exorcist kid. And I don't know. I don't remember being afraid ever in that movie. Like I loved it. I honestly did.
Yeah.
It's just I just never had that, oh my God, like where I couldn't sleep at night. Like those are the movies that get me, where I can't sleep later that night or nights later.
I remember when my kids were all finally teenagers, we had to wait till Austin was old enough, and then I watched it all with them. And at the end, they were just like, "That was so boring." And I'm like, "Shut up, go to your room."
No doubt. Oh, dude.
This next one comes with a story too. So my parents' house used to be able to go underneath the back porch, and there was a board there to stop the rabbit animals and stuff from going under there. But we had a little thing that was latched, and you could take it off and crawl under there. We used to go under there all the time. My mom would, don't go under there. But then there was another hole that actually went under the back room of the house. And there was a hole that went out to where you walk in between the fence and the house to get into the backyard, just enough to stick a hand through. And my friend Moose thought it would be hilarious to hide under there and wait for me to come home one day so that he could stick his hand out this hole and grab my ankle as I was walking into the backyard. And for that, this movie scared the crap out of me.
Nice.
Yeah.
That end scene, oh my God.
Yeah, the bloodbath. Obviously, that's Carrie that we're looking at there. Stephen King, classic. Even another one, yeah. Great movie. I just don't think I paid attention during the movie, honestly, when I was a kid. Well, because I was so young, and it was something. It was one of my mom's movies. It was another movie my mom was watching, and that I just happened to be in the room with. Like you guys always said, I was far too young, but. You know, I also had like my toys I was playing with, or I always had I had this Robin Hood book that I read over and over again, and the Greek mythology book. So,
and you used to draw a lot as a kid.
I did. I gave up drawing. Oh, yeah.
As we both did, actually. But yeah. This next one I watched with my older cousins up in Goderich, Ontario. They had these huge picture windows that just stared off out into the forest. So it was already terrifying watching horror movies at their house at night, staring off into this blackness and trees. And then I remember on the ride home the next day to, well, not the ride home, actually, the ride to London to get me on a bus to come back home, I really had to go to the washroom. And he's like, "Oh, pull over here." And I was like, "No, I'm not going in there and peeing. Like, you think I'm going to go into the cornfield after watching that movie? I don't think so."
Oh.
And again,
Malachi, as you see there, and a friend of the show, Courtney Gaines, who you interviewed a while back, was also in this.
Yeah, man, great movie.
Watched it a couple months ago.
What's that?
I watched it about 2 months ago. Terrible.
Really?
Terrible.
Terrible.
See, and maybe that's why these movies don't scare me. Is because a lot of them were so terrible. Yeah. I'm afraid to go back and watch. I've yet to watch The Exorcist again since I was a child.
It definitely had its moments still, but overall, it definitely didn't hold up to me. I probably hadn't watched it in about 20 years at least.
Oh, wow. All right, so we got some comments here I want to catch up on. Saw is more a thriller, surely.
Yeah.
It's torture porn.
It's all beating the clock, so it's that intensity of, oh my God, are they going to do it?
It's also torture porn.
Yeah, it is also torture porn. Yeah.
And that's what kills me with those movies. I just can't. That would have been insane to watch me do. I'm not sure what anymore. It's funny. I noticed one of my sons run up the stairs yesterday as the hallway's light was off. He said he thinks someone will chase him up the stairs and the light is safe. I thought about it. I used to do that too. Guessing it's something everyone does at that age. Yeah, for sure.
I did that all the time.
I don't want to kiss Steve's ass, not me, mate Steve, Mr. McGinnis, but sir, I didn't realize how much you're done and your work is epic. Respect. Yeah, man. Steve is amazing. And I wanted to get some of the artwork and I forgot to get it too. But Steve's been working with wrestling legend. You got to work with a wrestling legend, Jim Cornette. Are you still working with Jim or?
No. What happened there is their artist took ill. And I always listen to the Corny podcast. I just love it. And Jim makes me laugh like no one else. And so I heard that Travis took ill. So I emailed him and showed him some of my art. He's like, okay, you can do the thumbnails to our pages. Right. And it was a blast. I think I did about 20 or 30 of them. And, oh, man, talk about a passion project.
They were epic. And he loved them, too. Like, Jim was, like, singing your praises, which is amazing. Like, Jim Cornette is the original bad boy manager. He's there with Heenan, Freddie Blassie, Fuji. That guy is legit. And well earned. Like, of course, man.
And the stories Jim has, my goodness, you can't get stories like that anywhere else.
No, well, except for Dark Side of Wrestling, which he's on a bunch of those episodes anyways. Yeah, which is great. All right. Well, I guess it's time for me to do my list here.
Face your fears.
Guys, you're going to notice my list is a little different than yours. We said movies that made you afraid.
Yep.
We didn't say horror movies. We never said horror movies. I don't know that this is a horror movie, but this was my number 5. I am
gonna make you squeal like a pig, boy.
Deliverance. I mean, to this day, that movie still haunts me. Oh man, Ned Beatty. Oh, Ned. It was so bad, so bad. And it was karma because you were a dick at the beginning of the movie. Like, if you wouldn't have been a dick, you wouldn't have gotten the dick. I'm just saying.
That's pretty harsh punishment for being a dick.
It was very harsh punishment. I hope the Dora Explorer isn't on your list, Ryan. No, almost made my list. Stop it. Like I said, we got to read his comments
before you post. Yeah.
Right. I always forget. Next on my list, now, this one just rocked me as a child. So much so that it took me until I think I was like 15 to watch this cartoon movie again. And I don't know if you guys remember this. You all remember Mickey Mouse wearing the nice sorcerer hat and in his room and how sweet that was and them swinging. You forget this scary motherfucker though, don't you? No, I'm not even joking. Nightmares, legit nightmares. You make a villain that looks like what the devil's supposed to look like, and then you put him in a Mickey Mouse. Nah, I'm good, kid.
I thought something that'll make you feel better about that. I was joking with Austin earlier when I told him the topic of the show yesterday, and I said, I should have had you do a list. I said you could have put the Huffalumps on at number 1 from Winnie the Pooh. He was terrified.
Really?
No. Why?
He thought they were under his bed and they were going to get him.
Damn. Wow. Well, I can understand that because, like, I had on my list. This one just barely. I almost put this one on my list. I just want to put this as an honorable mention, real quick here. A shout out that still scares me to this day. And gentlemen, you're both dads, so this will probably scare you too. Be prepared. I mean, just when you thought it was safe to go back to the park.
Exactly.
He loves you. No, I kid. Next up on my list. Sorry, here I got something in my freaking eye. Oh yes. Speaking of eyes, I don't want to give stuff away because I think everybody knows what my number one's going to be. But this was a TV show that also happened to be a movie. But this TV show and the movie scared the bejesus out of me, so much so that when my mom had her friends over and they wanted to party or smoke a joint and they wanted me to leave the room, they would tell me that they were putting on the Incredible Hulk television series. I shit you not. And it was because when Bill Bixby turned into Lou Ferrigno's Hulk, this was his eyes.
Oh, yeah.
That terrified me. That has Reagan written all over it. So that like, put it this way, Lou Ferrigno came to the Seaway Mall in the 80s in Welland, dressed up as Incredible Hulk to do a signing. I begged my mother to go. My mom's like, you won't go. You're gonna freak out. I'm not bringing you. I begged. I won't cry. We get halfway there. We get just before the Seaway Mall, and I'm like, I don't want to go. I'm surprised she didn't beat my ass because she looked like the Hulk at that moment. But yes, that shit scared me, and I'll own that. Next one, a little more traditional. This is why I don't like slasher type movies, was because of these movies. And I watched the first one with my mother, which scared the hell out of me. And then I had to watch this one at our buddy Jay Grant's, I think it was his 14th birthday party. And I tried to watch it without even looking at it, where I was off screen and only seeing part of it. But this still scared the hell out of me. That was Nightmare on Elm Street, Part 3, Dream Warriors. Is that Rosanna Arquette and Lawrence Fishburne in that movie? Yes, yeah. It is. Morpheus, indeed, is in that. But it was this scene that gave me nightmares, where he made this kid walk like a puppet with his own veins. I had a nightmare one day, and I still remember it vividly. Have I told you this, Steve? I'm sure I've told you this.
I think you have, yeah.
So I was with my buddy Rob Ryan. We were leaving my apartment. Like, my grandparents had this apartment, and we were taking this trail from my apartment to what is the Lincoln Plaza. There used to be a little arcade in there.
Yeah.
And as we're going through there, Freddie starts chasing us down. And he's chasing, and Rob does the typical thing and trips on his shoelaces. And Freddie catches up to him and sneezes on him. And the snot's all over him, and then he melts right in front of me. And then I'm completely mesmerized, and Freddie cuts himself open and opens himself up, and all his veins pulled me inside of his body.
Whoa.
Steve, you remember this dream, right? I've like, so yeah. Freddy Krueger, like the back of my head is pulsating right now because I can't stop thinking about this. Yeah, you've got the body, I've got the brain. Exactly, is what it felt like. So yeah, that was my next one.
Man, that's rough.
Sorry, I gotta down a little bit. What's that?
You need a minute?
I do. New sponsor, social. No. So again, now this next one, we weren't really kids when this came out, but we were young enough that this movie stuck with me for years. There's so many different scenes in this movie that stuck with me. The final scene, though, just when you think this person was getting away with it, the main character was going to get out of it scot-free. But no, that was not the case. When it's your time, it's your time. And wow, this movie had a way of making me feel mortal, and just realizing could just be like that.
Yeah.
So, and those are the movies. That's what really gets me. Those type of movies, and I don't know if you can see, like, there's a little bit of a method to my madness in
Those
these.
movies, if they hadn't already, gave people a fear of driving next to trucks carrying lumber along the highway.
Right?
Wasn't
Just
that
saying.
brutal?
Like,
Man, was it Stifler who got the sign that chopped off his head at the railway tracks? Was that him?
I think it was.
That was brutal.
Because the only one that really lives is Ali Larder, right? Because she dies in like the third one or something like that.
Something like that, yeah. It's been a while since I watched
Yeah.
those.
I'm gonna have to revisit those.
Yeah, I'm not. Next up, and number one on my list, what started off all my horror fears and all my why I'm a chicken, or as we're finding out, maybe not as much as I thought, but still am. I blame my mom for showing me this when I was 5 years old, and that is the scariest movie ever made.
Oh man.
Yeah. And I know a lot of people, like my kids, say that they watch this and they're like, that's a boring ass movie.
Really?
It's boring. That's a boring movie up until you get to the part where the exorcism happens.
Right.
That
I thought
actually,
Spider Walk was rough too. That Spider Walk where she comes down the stairs.
but we didn't see that though in the original cut. And I haven't seen it since the original. Like I didn't rewatch it. I've still haven't watched it since I was 5. And I still remember the crucifix and the pleasure me Jesus. That's not what she said. But yeah. Oh my God. My kid's cousin couldn't watch the Hufflepuff movie for a long time. They were too scared.
It traumatized Austin.
What's up, Will? I forgot to read it first, but we'll take our chances. Talking of cartoon, Flash Gordon was a scary movie for me, especially when I realized that my movie was Flash Gordon, different kind of role in the playground. My bad.
Well, you watched Fritz the Cat as a kid too, didn't you?
Well, no, that was Luke.
Oh, Luke. Sorry, Luke.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Will, The Omen and Rosemary's Baby. Those were scary.
Yeah. Final Destination has stopped me from a lot of things. I now only travel by donkey and cart. I only use telegraph and phone. Sorry. The devil. The Exorcist was crazy. Exactly. The Omen and Rosemary's Baby. Yep. And I know so many friends were upset by E.T., Dark Crystal, Gremlins as a kid. I love them all. Yeah,
my kids absolutely hated Dark Crystal. They couldn't watch it again.
Really?
It scared them, yeah.
Wow. What about Legend?
I
watched it again.
I know I've seen it, but probably only the one time and probably in the mid 80s. So
yeah,
I love that movie. The soundtrack. I still listen to the soundtrack when I'm drawing by Tangerine Dream. That is wow. I love that.
No shit.
Give it a
well,
check.
There you go. That's our list, folks. If you want, feel free. Keep letting us know what are some of the movies that have scared you as a child, as you saw with my list. They don't all have to be horror. And some of them could be even Barney. I had a friend that was afraid of the original Wonka. Yes, I knew a lot of people that were afraid of the original Willy Wonka. I wasn't one of them. I actually kind of hated the original Willy Wonka and the new one. Didn't hate it. I never got the hype that everybody else had with it. Even at a young age, I just, nah.
It's kind of silly, but you know what kind of freaked me out? It still kind of does, is the monkeys from Wizard of Oz, those flying monkeys.
I'm with you.
Yeah.
I'm so with you there. Those monkeys were creepy as shit.
Yeah.
So, Steve, you're going to stick around for the rest of the show with us, eh?
Yeah, man.
Right on. So, coming up after the quick break, we're going to have our 5-second movie review. Steve's 5-second movie review. And, Steve, you got the movie, speaking of 5, Scream. Ooh. But don't call it Scream 5.
But don't call it Scream 5. No.
It's Scream. It's the 5th Scream movie, but don't call it Scream 5. Just call it Scream again, but not Scream again. Because, hey, let's face it, bro.
Scream and you scream.
We all scream. The Clown Doll and Poltergeist. Facebook user, is that Amber? I mean, is that Facebook user 34652?
Very well, maybe, because I know she's terrified of clowns.
The King Arthur film with the bad guy in the gold armor was terrifying. Can't remember what it was called.
Excalibur.
Yeah, Excalibur.
Yeah. So
it's a good
going
movie.
back to that story I told you guys about watching Halloween with my older cousins in Godrich, I watched the same night we watched Excalibur, and that movie creeped me out too. I remember.
Which one?
Yeah,
Which one?
Excalibur.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Damn.
Oh,
That'd have been a rough sleepover.
yeah. It was.
Well, you know what's not a rough sleepover for you is if you wanted to save yourself a little bit of money. And I've had a lot of people ask me lately, because especially with, like we talk about it, COVID's just hopefully ending right now. A lot of people haven't had the money that they normally have because we haven't had access to a lot of activities or other venues to go make money that we would.
Because
Especially,
you don't froze your account? Oh, wait.
yeah. What? Too soon, dude. Too soon. Wrong show. Wrong show.
Sorry.
Although I'm sure our sponsor will appreciate that one. But if you are looking to save some money, but you don't want to sacrifice any of your internet service at home, why don't you cut the big cable bill with who you're at and give DocNet a call? Right over our guest head right there, over Steve's head, right beside Arnie, you see it, docnet.ca. They got you covered in Ontario and Quebec for your internet. They got top internet speeds. Not only do they have internet, they have home phone for you as well. So that way you could also avoid telemarketers in style. That's home phone. Anyways, DocNet, connecting your home to the world. That's the thing we say. DocNet.ca. Tell them RatG TV sent you. That's it. That's the whole thing. Those flying monkeys were bad guys in Lego Dimensions game. That was out a few years ago. LOL, and it was 5-second review of the film formerly known as Scruffy 5, but now was never known as Scream 5. I should have read that one first. In Amityville Horror. All right. So, Steve, Mr. McGinnis, have you ever seen Steve's 5-second movie review?
I have not. I'm actually really interested in this.
Wow, this is going to be a first time for you.
We apologize in advance.
I'm picturing something like Ollie from the news on Family Guy. Like,
no, there's nothing silly about this at all. In fact, it's time for Steve's 5-second movie review by Steve. This one, Lambert, the Wingnut. Yeah. Jazz hands.
We got all fence here.
Yeah, it's a crowd pleaser, honestly. Luke, you're in for a treat. So for Steve McGinnis and those of you that are new here that have never seen Steve's 5-second movie review, Steve takes a movie. This week it is the movie Scream, and I take 5 seconds, put it on the board, and in that 5 seconds, Steve has to give us his review of said movie. Steve, are you ready for your review?
I'm ready.
Your 5 seconds are on the board. You may begin now.
Fans of this killer franchise will be upset.
Oh,
Little cryptic there for this one.
little cryptic. So that doesn't mean you didn't like it, though. You just said that fans of it would be upset.
Obsessed.
Oh, what?
Obsessed.
Obsessed. I see stalkers coming. All right, so tell us. So what did you think of the movie?
Yeah, it was good. It started off a little slow for me. I was really thinking about 20, 25 minutes, and I'm like, I don't know about this one. But it really picked up, and I really enjoyed the ending. Scream, it's always been a classic. It's a slasher, but it's also a classic whodunit. So
Right.
Keeping you guessing, and it really did keep me guessing till the end. Although I had my inclination of who the killer was at the beginning, they definitely throw you a curve at the end. So it's a good ride.
I love it. I love that. I need to watch it soon because I'm starting to see more and more spoilers on because they keep talking about the next one. And then they're like, is this person going to be back? And I'm like, oh, shut up.
I told you last week that my original review that I came up with for this movie in my head would have been a total spoiler for anyone who'd been able to put together the pieces. So I chose not to do that one this week.
Fair. Well, you can tell me that one after I watch it. After I watch it, you
give
tell
me the review, and I think you'll appreciate it.
Perfect. I appreciate that, dude. All right. So what do you give this out of 5? What's your big score for Scream?
I gave it a 3.
Not bad. Better than average.
Yep.
Not bad. And what did you think of the originals coming back?
Yeah, no, it's I think that this franchise wasn't quite ready yet to go off on its own. It still needs that segue, I think. And they had it in this movie, and we know that Scream 6 is already filming this summer, so we'll see where it goes.
Now, I watched Scream 1, 2, and 3. I'd never watched 4, which was evident by the fact that they played that as a trailer on accident when they were trying to promote this one when we were hosting them at Comic-Con. So was Arquette, Courtney Cox, and Nev Campbell not in 4?
Was it? I think just Nev Campbell maybe was not in 4.
Okay.
It's been a while since I've seen it, but I'm going to say I think just her was not in it. But
hello, Sydney.
Would you like to play a game? Not to be confused with Saw.
It's good from about 45 minutes in, Luke says.
Yeah.
With the new movie, it could take the series further, in my honest opinion. Well, that's good. So 3 out of 5. Not bad. So McGinnis, what do you think of these movies?
I like them. I loved 1. I thought it was very fresh. Like you guys said, you didn't know who was doing it. And then the fact that at the end it was 2 of them. It was Billy and I forget, Matthew Lillard.
Matthew Lillard, right.
Yeah, I like him.
Matthew Lillard and Skeet Ulrich.
That's right.
Yeah, the 2 big bads, as we were missing our big bad in the middle there. I'm going to move him over. Hi, Steve. A little bit closer now. But yeah, man, that was a good review. Not sure what happened to our co-host there. He had to step away. But so what we normally do after the end of the reviews there, we get into our news. You cool with sticking in with us for while we do the news as well?
Yeah.
We will wait for Steve to get back, though, because, a lot of these are his stories. There he is. I'll put him back in the middle. Boom. Just like that. Hey, look, there he is. This is why we can't get a contract on TV. He just gets up in the middle of the show and just leaves.
It's that old bladder of mine.
That is like so I feel attacked. You know what? Instead of feeling attacked, Steve, happy birthday for the other day, mate. Hope it was a good one. And with that, hey, you know what? I don't know. I just think it's time for this. All right, so it's time for the news, and Wellandwingnut, you start us off every week like you do with the bad news. You do. You're the downer.
I don't.
You're the death bringer. You're the Grim Reaper here.
And this week, I really don't like bringing this news because someone I really revered and loved growing up as a kid and throughout his career. Someone who was on, I told you before the show, was on my bucket list if I ever made it to Vegas. Has passed the age of 63 from heart failure. Just a really funny guy. And, I don't have a pencil with me, but I'll do my best Amazing Jonathan trick here as I taught myself as a kid. Ah! As I fail doing that one.
You got to know where the camera is, dude.
Funny guy. Started out as a comedian. His first gig, I watched a documentary about it. His first gig was at a strip club. And he would come in between strippers. And he just thought, oh, my God, this is going to be horrible. Like, no one wants to see me at a strip joint. And he was right. They booed him and everything else that night. So he went home that first night and learned 50 solid comebacks and just memorized them. And he was bulletproof after that. And really just, kickstarted his career. George Carlin absolutely loved him, had nothing but nice things to say to him. Jim Carrey actually tried to get him an audition on In Living Color when he was actually going through a real depression. And instead of showing up to the audition, he decided to go smoke some crack instead. Finally got clean, got a job filling in for David Brenner in Vegas for 2 weeks while he was on vacation. And by the end of the 2 weeks, the Golden Nugget said, "You're in. You've got the spot." And he's like, "Well, I'm not doing that to Dave Brenner. I'm not taking his spot." So they actually created a whole new showcase just for him. And he spent a better part of 20 years working Vegas.
Wow, good for him. How old was he when he passed?
63 years old.
Wow. That's not old.
No. Yeah. Well, that's what I said to Steve earlier when we were talking about that. I said, the older we get, the younger 60 seems.
Exactly.
Like, really?
I've been looking at that this year. I'm turning 50.
Well, yeah. Wow. Eh?
Yeah.
Big 5-0. That's a good one, though.
Oh, yeah. This one's hard. It's going to be hard this year.
Yeah. Well, hey.
Yeah, the next one, you'll remember her from Star Trek, the MASH movie, which she was actually nominated for an Oscar for Best Supporting Actress. Back to School, and of course, Meatballs. Sally Kellerman has passed at the age of 84.
I forgot she was in Meatballs.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. 2 Meatballs alums in 2 weeks.
That's
Ivan
right.
Reitman last week, and now her this week. Wow, that's too bad. Yeah, a lot of people forget that Ivan Reitman, born in Czechoslovakia, Canadian though.
Yeah, Canadian raised. Yeah.
Raised in Canadian. His son born in Canada as well. Proud Canadian. But yeah, SCTV alum. But yeah, man.
You remember the Meatballs movies, of course, Steve.
I remember the first one.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
What was the one with the alien? Remember they had an alien in one of those?
Yeah.
I don't remember that. I remember Bill Murray was in the first one.
Right.
Yeah.
And then, like I said, the guy from Empty Nest and Soap was in it. Bert.
Oh, right. That's right.
Bert was in one of them as well.
Yeah.
Richard Mulligan?
I think you're right. That's him. Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah,
pulled that one out of my ass.
Moving to the music scene, a couple of deaths. At the age of 57, Mark Lanigan, singer from the Screaming Trees. The Screaming Trees, if you don't know who they were, this was one of these bands that really pioneered the Seattle scene and didn't get all the credit that Nirvana or Soundgarden that they kind of reaped the benefits of them clearing the way. So later he emerged again in the 2000s with Queens of the Stone Age.
Right, that's where the hell I knew him from.
Yeah,
I knew the other one too, but yeah. Screaming
and
Trees.
then 76 years old, Gary Brooker, one of the founders of Procol Harum, has passed. He was a pianist. Their big hit was Whiter Shades of Pale in 1967, and later recorded live with the Edmonton Symphony Orchestra. Conquistador became a hit for them in 1971. I got to see them a couple times. One of them, anyways. I saw Procol Harum actually open for Tull, and then I saw Gary Brooker with Ringo and his All-Star Band. So,
was that the Tull concert at Fantasy Island?
No. You're thinking of Canada's Wonderland, but no, it wasn't that one. I was actually.
I saw Tull at yeah.
Well, maybe because they played the Kingswood Theater. I know back in that era. That's when they beat out to Metallica for best metal performance at the Grammys.
Jethro Tull. Yeah.
To be fair though, you watch Ian Astbury do a half-hour solo, hopping on one leg playing the flute.
Pretty badass.
Give him every award in the world at that point. Like legit. I watch kids. I took music in high school. I watch kids pass out playing the flute, just trying to learn how to play the flute. That dude did it hopping on one leg, and yeah, that guy is awesome.
I saw them for, like I said, I saw him back in the early '90s, and I saw him again 3 years ago, just before the pandemic. It's one of the last shows I saw before the pandemic. And me and Amber, I swear, were the youngest people at that concert by 20 years.
Yeah, and you're right. It was Art Park Tuesdays. That's exactly where it was Art Park. Wow. Yeah, I haven't been there in a long time. Rest in peace. We didn't mean to get off on a tangent there. But yeah, there was a lot of deaths this week. But
There's also a hoax,
right?
which we haven't had a lot of death hoaxes lately. I remember for a while there, a few years there, it was a real thing.
Mm-hmm. But this one,
yeah. Karate Kid star Jaden Smith, I say that loosely, was supposedly killed in a car crash with one of the reports at the age of 23. I guess some of this stems from pictures that he had been posting social media wise. People had noticed a noticeable weight loss in him and were worried for his health. He said that he has been with a doctor and has helped him get supplements, protein shakes, vitamins, and he actually is putting on some more weight. He wasn't sick, but his response on Twitter was one word to his death hoax: invincible.
Let's remember, this is the kid that went to his high school prom dressed up as Batman in a white Batman costume.
Yeah, he's a strange one.
Yeah,
I mean, it's a little bit of privilege there. Un petit peu, as we say in French. So, speaking of in French, not at all. Has nothing to do with French. Paramount Plus. They have the rights to Halo. Have you guys played Halo? Xbox at all? Yeah.
I played the first one, a little bit.
Yeah, I played the first one as well, but I haven't owned an Xbox since the first Xbox. I still have it. It's modded out. But I haven't played Halo since then. Have you kept up with the games, McGinnis?
I have. I really like Halo.
So what do you think of this news then, that they announced that Master Chief is going to show his face?
You know what? I guess I'm okay with it. I can see fans being really pissed. I like the mystique of not knowing who it is. I think they made a big mistake by showing his face.
Yeah.
They're kind of like he's like the Mandalorian. He shouldn't show his face.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. And a lot of people are thinking that as well. Now, here's the thing with the Mandalorian thing and them not taking off their helmet. When did that become canon? Because before the prequels, all we knew of the Mandalorians was Boba Fett, who isn't a Mandalorian.
Yeah.
Right? So we didn't really have anything to go by on that. And then once we do, most of it came from Extended Universe, which isn't canon anyway. So I never understood why people were, I don't know. I don't know why they did. Steve's a long time Star Wars fan, and I don't know. This shit never.
I don't have an answer for it. So
I think it's what Katie Stackhoff's character said, Bo-Katan, that they're a bunch of like zealots, and
yes,
and they have these rules, and you have to follow, like, to be a Mandalorian. I think they're that extreme.
Yeah, there's certain cults though, right? Because Katie Sackhoff's cult takes their helmet off all the time.
But she's a true blood Mandalorian. She's from Mandalore.
I've watched the cartoons, and even if you watched it on the Mandalorian, her and her entire cult, Sasha Banks takes off her helmet.
That's what I mean. She's from Mandalore, where the Mandalorian is. Like,
no, I get that. So, but he was adopted into it, right?
Yeah.
Right. He's
but he was adopted into the religion. He was adopted into a religious sect on that for Mandalore. Whereas Katie Sackhoff they were more agnostic, I guess.
Yeah.
The closest you could say, or atheist. I don't know. But let's go off there. I like that. I like where this conversation went.
The orphans who are taken as Mandalorians, they seem to be this extreme, almost like cult mentality.
Yeah. Boba is surely a foundling and a Mandalorian, as his dad was, and he is his own dad, his clone for the win. True, but was Jango Fett a Mandalorian? And if so, why was his helmet off all the time?
Yeah.
Or was he? Didn't they say in Boba Fett that the armor was made for his dad?
Yeah, wasn't it? That was the gift from I can't remember the name of the people, but for using him as the clone, I think.
Yeah. Oh, right, maybe.
Yeah.
And they made him his own Mandalorian armor.
Yeah.
And he wanted one unaltered clone for himself to raise as a boy.
We're tying it all up. Tying it all up in a nice little bow. That's what we do. This next story, though, I think is going to make somebody really, really happy. One of our fans is going to love this story that Steve's about to say.
Where are we here?
Oh, well, I mean,
Coyote?
No, this.
Oh, Blumhouse. Yes. Oh, how did I miss that? Yeah, Blumhouse. Oh, here it is. Blumhouse. Blumhouse is talking a Thing reboot, and John Carpenter had said that he's not allowed to talk about it. Now, the Thing was a 1982 movie that was a huge hit. I just found out today this one was a prequel in 2011, which wasn't very well received. And so I know you're a big fan of The Thing. Steve, what do you think about that?
Oh man, I don't know. The Thing is probably my favorite movie. I would consider that the perfect movie. The atmosphere is so tense through the whole movie. It's almost like you can feel what they're going through. I've heard rumors that Carpenter's written a second, and basically, if he gets the rights to direct it, he's going to go ahead with it. But I haven't heard of a reboot. I've heard that Carpenter has the script for a second one after Kurt Russell's character is found.
Oh my God, what is his name again? Too
Nick
McCready.
Yeah. Him and Childs would be found frozen, probably stiff, and I think Childs had the Thing in him.
Yeah, so he could have survived it.
Yeah,
which is
because there's the old switcheroo at the end, right? With the whiskey bottles. Remember, they filled them up with gasoline, and then Kurt handed him the bottle, and Childs took a drink of it, and then Kurt kind of had a smirk on his face at the very end, and that was I think that's kind of the nod that he knew Childs had the Thing.
He was infected, or he was.
Yeah.
Give Carpenter the rights, please, and Blumhouse will make it a blockbuster.
For sure.
Luke Tuff is the biggest Blumhouse fan on the face of the planet. I think Blumhouse is the only thing he likes more than Clanny.
I like Blum. Like, Jason Blum, if you're listening, please hire me. I will draw everything for those movies.
I can't wait to see Steve McGinnis draws Clan Shark, a Blumhouse original. It will happen. Written and directed by Luke Tuff. All right. So I'm a Spider-Man guy. Are you a Spider-Man guy, McGinnis?
Yeah, I like Spidey.
Yeah. And Steve, you like Spidey?
He was one of my first favorites, yeah.
Now, I don't know if you guys remember. Sony's got their own kind of universe that they're making without Spider-Man in it. They've got Venom. They got Morbius coming up. Kraven the Hunter, starring Kick-Ass's Aaron Taylor Johnson as Kraven the Hunter, is coming as well. They just announced the newest cast member to Kraven the Hunter that's going to be joining Aaron Taylor Johnson, and that is Fred Essinger, and he's going to be playing the Chameleon.
Wow.
Of all freaking people, the Chameleon, which I think is a pretty interesting choice. I mean, it's not really a throwaway character, but it's also not a top rated rogue. He has been a problem, especially if you watch the 90s Spider-Man cartoon. He was in it a lot.
Yeah.
But, man, I mean, he could just look like other people. He can't do the stuff that other people does, so... But we'll see. This could be all right. It could just be for a small plot. But what do you think?
Me or
you?
I thought they missed the mark with not using Carl Urban as Kraven the Hunter. I thought he would have been awesome.
Oh, good choice. Good choice.
Imagine him as Kraven.
I like that. I've always said, and people laugh at me for this, but I've always said Dominic Purcell. Do you know who that is?
No.
So Blade 3, he played Dracula. He was the big guy that played Dracula. But where I see him as Kraven the Hunter is he was in a movie with Robert De Niro and I think Jason Statham called Killer Elite.
No, I haven't seen that.
Oh, you've never seen Killer Elite? Oh my God. Really good movie. I'm going to see if I can find the picture there. But that was why I saw that movie and I'm like, oh my God, it's Jason Statham, Gerard Butler, Robert De Niro.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's a really, really good movie. And Dominic Purcell's in it as well. I'm trying to just get the picture of him on it for you, honestly. I've got one here. It's not going to be a full picture, but whatever. And when I post it here, you'll see what I see, hopefully. But I see him as it, and he's got the look, and he's got the swagger. And I know people don't like it because he played Mick Rory on DC's Legends of Tomorrow and on The Flash. Played Heat Stroke or whatever.
Oh, really? Oh, I could see him being Craven.
Like right there, that look right there.
Yeah.
And then I've seen it, and this is an action movie. Obviously, it's called Killer Elite.
Yeah, he does have.
To me, I'm like, that guy would be perfect for the role too, and I think he could pull off the accent. So,
yeah.
And that was just, we really went on a tangent there, but hey, Steve, that's what happens sometimes. Sometimes you're the Roadrunner, and sometimes you're the Coyote.
Yeah, I just heard about this movie, and I could not be more excited because I just love this premise. John Cena has just been attached to a Coyote versus Acme movie in which he will portray a lawyer representing the Coyote in a lawsuit against Acme for years of faulty.
It's about time.
Really?
It's about time. I mean, if you're going to make an absolutely absurd movie about the Coyote and the Roadrunner, you do it this way, and it makes total sense in this nonsensical premise that he would actually sue Acme. And who else would you have play a ridiculous role like the lawyer and play it absolutely deadpan straight? It's going to be John Cena. It's going to be that guy right there.
Who's making it?
What's that?
Who's making this?
It's got to be Warner Brothers.
Yeah, filming has begun in New Mexico. All the animation will be done in London, but yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to seeing this one.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm definitely down. Coyote wins. Yes, Coyote definitely. He better win. That's all I'm saying.
He's definitely got some evidence.
Yeah.
Now, speaking of wins and evidence, we're going to see some lawyer action moving from Netflix over to Disney Plus. Wait, what? Yeah, that's right. Netflix has finally lost the rights or given up the rights, or their rights have run up, however you want to say it, on their Marvel Netflix series, The Defenders, Luke Cage, Jessica Jones, obviously Daredevil, Punisher, and Iron Fist. And they're all going to start airing on Disney Plus. I think that's March 12th that they're coming. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, man, I'm down for that. Did you watch The Punisher?
Oh yeah,
I figured you'd watch that one. Did you like that one?
I loved it. He was probably the best on-screen Punisher we've seen.
I totally agree. I can't wait to see what they do with Disney Plus. And for everyone that's like, oh, they're gonna nerf it and they're gonna tone them down a lot. They got Tommy Lee's dick talking to Tommy Lee on Disney Plus. Don't tell me that they can't put the Punisher giving some guy a Columbia necktie in a prison scene on there.
Yeah,
so,
we've seen it.
My next review is going to be for a movie that just came out on Disney Plus yesterday. I watched it last night, No Exit. And Amber was saying that same thing. She's like, "Oh my God, this is on Disney Plus." I'm like, "Yeah." I'm like, they're not just going to pander to little kids and teeny boppers anymore. They have to appeal to everyone.
Well, what people forgot though, remember when you first signed up for Disney Plus, after about a couple months, like after it had come open as a stream, especially here in Canada, they added the parent where you could say that you're an adult or not. So then you get to see the rated R shit. So but we still get the splash version where you don't see titty. And they made her hair longer so you can't see her butt crack. True story. They paid millions and millions of dollars just to cover her butt crack.
Really?
Neil Young probably told Dara Hannah, we're canceling that. We're pulling your titties off Splash.
Oh my goodness. I didn't know that.
Steve's on his personal stand today. Yes. What else we got here? Oh, all right. So that was my story. You got an interesting duo coming up here, though.
Yeah, Bill Murray's role choices have been strange, to say the least, over the last part of his career. Really hit or miss for me, even though I'm a huge Bill Murray fan.
Same.
But this is an interesting pair. Aziz Ansari is going to be making his directorial debut. He's cast Bill Murray in the lead role in a movie called Being Mortal. Now, this movie will deal with assisted suicide and what is considered quality of life. So I'm not sure if this is if we're going dark comedy here, if this is going to be drama, but
I mean, damn. This sounds like a movie I don't want to watch already. I'm not even like nothing against either one of those guys. I just no, I'm good. I want to be happy. The last 2 years were not happy times. Can I just focus on happy shit for now? I'm gonna be that guy.
Well,
I'm just gonna be blissfully ignorant for the rest of my life.
We're finding, as you said, we're just kind of getting ourselves out of the pandemic and stepping right into World War III. So
yeah, just in time. Could you imagine a zombie land following Bill Murray's story? That'd be epic. Yeah, like I wanted to see Bill Murray as a zombie afterwards because they didn't put one in his head ever.
It's definitely a missed opportunity.
Yeah.
Right. Maybe Zombieland 3. Who knows?
Maybe.
Speaking of not having a missed opportunity, Jennifer Holland, actress from the latest Suicide Squad movie, and of course Peacemaker, her and longtime beau James Gunn have announced that they're finally tying the knot and are going to get married. I absolutely love the show. I wanted to hate this show so much, but I don't know what it is in James Gunn's whatever he's eating or drinking that puts shit into his head to make him think of the shit he does. Peacemaker. He's like, okay, now let's just go back to Suicide Squad movie. I'm gonna make a Suicide Squad movie and I can take whoever I want and put in it. Okay, so give me King Shark, give me Polka Dot Man,
Weasel.
Give me Rat Catcher,
Give
me Weasel, give me TDK, and give me Peace fucking Maker, a guy that we haven't seen since Charlton Comics back in the fucking 30s. And then not only that, to have the foresight to be like, yo, I got something here with John Cena and his improv. I'm going to do a whole HBO series about it, and writes out like 2 seasons while he's making Guardians of the Galaxy 3. The guy's insane. And then doing that on top of all that and still being able to, focus on his girlfriend, who, yes, I know. I don't consider that nepotism because I think she's been doing great acting in that. That's the first thing I think I've seen her in of his. So
yeah,
at least in a big role. So, but yeah, congratulations to both of them. James Gunn is now the new big guy at Warner Brothers. So HBO Max, you want to do the Jon Favreau, Dave Filoni thing right there. That you want these two, you got them and this guy. That's all I'm saying. You'll make all the money in the world.
And that guy can assemble a soundtrack like no one else.
Right? Like, I mean, there's one episode. Have you watched the whole thing yet or no?
A Peacemaker? No, I haven't.
Okay.
I gotta get caught up.
There's one episode where John Cena is like actually like breaking down emotionally, and he's in his room rocking out to Cinderella's House of Pain. And I'm like, oh my God. Like, it was like, I was having flashbacks to fucking Club Social dances. It was, which is a deep cut teen dance. That's a deep cut reference for just Steve and I. But yeah, such a good show. Anyways, that's it. You can move on, Steve. It's
Hulu is going to bring to life the latest Stephen King project, Boogeyman, in which a 16-year-old girl and her younger sister are haunted by a boogeyman after the death of their mother.
Okay.
I've read the book.
Have you?
I read pretty much all of Stephen King. It was a short story originally, And originally it was a guy talking to his psychiatrist about the death of his wife and kids from the boogeyman in the office. It was basically in the office of the psychiatrist.
Wow.
And the boogeyman basically is after him now. But the psychiatrist the whole time is like, no, it's not. Like, it's leaning toward, you killed them, didn't you? You know, like, and it's a great story. It sounds like they're taking a different spin with this. But
yeah, what seems to happen a lot with Stephen King's work.
Mm-hmm.
With a lot of his work.
Yeah.
And a lot of people argue that the made-for-TV Shining, starring Tim Daly, was the better of them.
It was the closest to the story.
Yeah, and because that was the one that Stephen King was like, this is the one I want.
Yeah.
I remember when Dr. Sleep was about to come out, and I just thought, oh God, no, please don't ruin this, please. I actually avoided watching it. Like, it had been out in theaters, it came out on video, and I was avoiding watching it for probably almost 2 years before I finally watched it, and I loved it.
Yeah, it was good, wasn't it? It was close to the book.
Mr. Boogedy was okay. So let's that shit was fucking scary, yo. I love that. I love that show, and I watched it over and over and over again. I had it on Betamax and on VHS. But Mr. Boogedy was a little scary the first time you watched it as a kid. Right?
That show scares the crap out of my wife, Mr. Boogedy.
No doubt.
She's traumatized by that.
Well, I know who I'm cosplaying next time.
I was just gonna say that, Lambert. You know what you're doing this year, Mr. Boogedy. You know what though? If you cosplayed as Mr. Boogedy, I'm telling you, you would be the hit of Comic-Con. I mean, anybody who we just spoiled it out here, but I mean, like, anyone who does that at a Comic-Con, because I don't think I've seen that ever in any of the cosplay groups or anything like that I follow.
No, I've never seen that.
That's a tough one to do, but Lambert, if someone can do it, yo, you do it. I watched it recently. It's so bad, but I love it. You know what else? Every time I think of Mr. Boogedy, I think of another show, and it has absolutely nothing to do with Mr. Boogedy. It's just that time. But you remember there was a TV show that came out that was based on this laser tag game, and you could shoot the TV. It was Captain Blaster or Captain.
Yeah,
remember? Because I had the chest thing that you would put on, and you'd watch a VHS movie, and you would shoot at the TV, and you would shoot the back.
Wasn't it?
Captain Power. I think you're right. I think it was Captain Power.
Because the whole thing was they'd always run out of power, and then Captain Power would say, "We need more power," and then you'd have to like shoot the Captain Power thing, and it would like charge him up. And I was always like, "Just buy a second battery. Like, why are you guys running out of power?" Like,
because they didn't have batteries in that time, or in that future like, where they live.
You have these flying suits. You can't have another battery on your suit. Like, man,
that's
dude,
awesome.
Captain Power.
Yeah, dude, I love Captain Power. Like, this show.
You know what's funny? The guy who was Tank in that was Arnold Schwarzenegger's friend Sven, who was in all his movies.
Oh wow!
Oh, no way.
Yeah, he was the guy with the big hammer in Conan. He was the guy who got shot in Predator when Arnie came in and went knock knock and shot him. He's in all Arnie's movies. And yeah, Sven Olofsson, I think his name is.
Is it Sven Gally?
Sven Gally.
I'm sorry. I just should shut up all the time. But this right there, that's it all right there.
Nice. You had that?
I had the toy. I had those guys.
Oh wow.
I had that video that's in the back. I had that ship. Yeah, man. And then there also came a gun that came with it, and I'm pretty sure a chest plate that you could put on you.
Whoa.
Yeah, my grandparents spoiled the shit out of me.
That's awesome.
My grandparents would buy me everything except for a nice pair of shoes. I went through my entire life in fucking tracks and BK nights.
Wow.
And I played basketball, soccer. I played every sport there was, and my shoes would explode every fucking few days. Sorry. All right. I'm not traumatized at all by that. Oh my God. Interactive TV was so epic. It never had the back.
What was the board game that came out a while afterwards with the creepy guy on the TV?
I had that.
Yes, Fear. Was it called Fear?
No.
He was called something close to the Crypt Creeper or something. And then if you took too long to make a decision, he would be like, "I need your answer now," and then like fear the hell out of you.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
And there was a series of those that came out following that one because that was a big hit.
Yeah, that was a really cool game.
Yeah.
Oh man,
I'm
now
looking
you're
for it right now.
It is.
Oh, I got it. I got the picture of it. It was Nightmares.
Nightmare.
It was a black box with almost like stone writing of nightmares on it. I remember.
Yeah, I'm looking for it right here.
Yeah, that was a good
Oh
game.
yeah, buddy, I got you here. Don't you worry. Now I apologize for the size of this is going to be off a bit, but I am just uploading it now because we're doing this on the fly. This is live. Even if you're watching it live later live.
That's it. Yep.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, this was a badass game. It was scary.
That
I want to
dude
change one of my answers. I want to put that up as one of my answers.
No doubt.
Yeah,
that was a fun part of the game for sure.
All right. You had to ask question. It was great. Yeah, man. It was Nightmares. Yes. And Sven Olsen.
That's
Sven
it.
Olforsen.
Yeah, he was
Awesome.
tank.
Man, well, this has been a lot of fun, Steve. So, Steve, where can folks find you if they wanted to get a hold of some of your art?
We got one story left, I think.
Oh, we got one more story left.
One story left.
Oh, well, then you can tell us the other stuff after that. What's the last story? Oh,
You got it? All right. Ozarks, the final episodes are coming April 29th. As you hear a Facebook user being excited in the background there.
Facebook user 34679.
Yeah, I'm pretty stoked for this. The first half of the final season was really good. I'm looking forward to this finale.
Nice.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to try to binge it all once it's done, which I'll probably do.
It's so good.
Is it? Yeah.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Is it Breaking Bad good though?
Oh yeah.
Better.
Then
I
I
would say
don't want it. Is it like Breaking Bad? Is it the same kind of tone?
I think it's Breaking Bad-esque. Yeah.
Yeah. I might not like it.
there's always
We'll
a
see.
dark, tense element in this.
Yeah. Yeah. I couldn't get into Breaking Bad, so I've tried a couple times. I made it into the second season twice and still
Oh
couldn't.
yeah.
Yeah. It's Steve's fault, honestly. I didn't say which one.
So
That's
the
weird.
skinny of Ozarks is basically Jason Bateman plays. He's in finances and something like that, and his partner basically makes a backdoor deal with these guys who end up, the cartel. They end up killing his partner and put him to work to launder money for him, and as he relocates his family down to the Ozarks.
You didn't know.
Yeah. So there you go. Just like that. Damn, Ryan, the same with Breaking Bad. I'm the same with Breaking Bad. Yeah. Yeah, man. I try. I try so hard with Breaking Bad. I just can't do that one either.
Same.
Anyways, no, it was good. But that's it for the news. That's all we got. Well, sweet, buddy. That's our news. Like I was saying, Steve, how can people get a hold of you if they wanted to see some of your art?
You can reach out to me, Steve McGinnis Horror Illustration on Facebook or Instagram. Steve McGinnis Illustration, like my website, anything like that. You can always reach out to me, check out my art. Even Steve McGinnis Horror Illustration on Etsy. You can go check my art out there.
Make sure you do. Make sure you see some of that art. And when you do see some of that art, make sure if you see Steve in public, make sure you show him.
Oh, God. That thing is so cursed. I know it. You probably hear like little patters at night on your floors when you go to sleep with that thing, right? Like that.
Yeah, I live in the Puppet Master's house.
Oh, yeah. No
So
way.
no Annabelle problems over there.
I remember.
Between that thing and her quiet room bear, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Those would not be in my residence. I'd be burying them in the yard.
That's just crazy. All right. Well, I think that's going to do it. Thanks so much for being on the show today, Steve. I appreciate that, buddy.
Thanks for
Looking forward to Comic-Con and seeing you again soon.
I know. I can't wait. I
Yeah.
love Comic-Cons.
I know.
Who,
And
who are you looking forward to seeing at Niagara Falls Comic Con this year?
First name that comes to my head, Tom Berenger. Yeah.
I just watched Major League again just the other day, and it's still the greatest baseball movie I think I've ever seen.
Oh, really?
Listen, I watched The Natural. It was good for its time. It's a little pretentious, but Major League is the greatest baseball movie I've ever seen. I stand by that. The only thing that comes close to that, and I know everyone wants to say The Sandlot, but I say fuck you to that. It's Little Big League. The kid that owns a Minnesota. I'm sorry. Which is so good. So good.
I think Barnes from Platoon. That's the thing that I like.
Oh no, that's William Dafoe.
Oh yeah, where he gets all shot up. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
There's a documentary.
That's why I don't like horror or army movies. It's because of Platoon.
They just put out a doc. Oliver Stone did on the making of Platoon.
Oh wow.
It is awesome. He put everyone through boot camp, through 3 months of boot camp, and because he was in Vietnam, Stone.
Yeah, he was a photographer. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he got like drill sergeants to come and train these, like the whole cast. And
He said that he was on Stern talking about it, and he said that he was in a troop that was pinned down for something like 15 days or something like that.
Jesus.
But it was raining so hard where they were, the Viet Cong couldn't get to them, but also their own support couldn't get to them to help them until the rain had stopped. So it was just a matter of once the rain stopped, who was going to be the first one to get there.
Oh.
Yeah, man. Mr. McGinnis, sir, I'll be sending you some script shit you can draw to, and we can make a movie and make millions. Or I might just say hi. Good night, guys. I'll give some abuse later when just Steve's on. Love you, Mr. Lambert. Steve's biggest fan.
Nice.
Love it. All right. Well, that's going to do it for another edition of RatG TV. I want to say big thanks again to our guest, Steve McGinnis, for joining us here today.
Go get your copy of Harvester.
Yes.
Go get that, like he said. Check it out. Folks, hope you had a good time. For the Wellandwingnut, for Mr. McGinnis, your boy Zeus. Hope you all have a great weekend.